what's up, guys? Welcome to this live stream. Today, I want to be talking about the difference between the Grand S6 and the Montage S700 that comes on the Modi X8. So I don't know if you have the Modi X8. The reason I wanted to make this this live stream and I wanted to talk about it is because I remember when I was trying to decide whether if I get the Modi X or if I get the Montage. And as you know, the difference is massive between both of them. And so I don't know. I wanted to share with you guys. And I know before. I don't know if you guys seen the other live stream that I made it in Spanish though, but I was talking about why I like the Yamaha Grand S6. I was explaining that the reason I like it is because I like the natural sound that the S6 has. And if you know about pianos, if you know what I'm talking about, you should know that the Yamaha Grand S6 is a handmade grand piano, and that's one of the reasons why its sound is very rich and it's I don't know. I like it a lot, and I believe that any Yamaha, starting with the Mo XF, if I'm remembering correctly, Mo XF8. Also has the Grand S6. I was saying on that video that the Grand S6 on those pianos, you got different variations of it too. And so, I don't know, I like the one that comes on the Modi X8, and it's just called Natural Grand S6. You can find it on the library. But today, I wanted to be comparing it with the Montage S700 that comes also in the Modi X8. And I also want to start putting some pads next to them to start comparing them. I know the difference is massive between them, and even in the sound, when I am on this S6, you will see, or you will hear in this case, the difference between the Grand S6 and the Montage S700. So what I'm playing right here, I'm just playing on the S6. And I believe, yes, it's just the piano. The other day, I was putting a guitar next to it, a warm pad, and just a guitar. But I did remove the guitar and I just left the pad. I'm gonna leave the pad on so you can hear it. I think when you're playing on the higher spots of the piano, you can hear the pad a little bit more, especially when you leave it. That's what I wanted to talk to. When you leave the space for it right there, so if you leave the space, you're gonna notice the pads a little bit more. I mean, when I was playing like dun 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 dun, those build-ups and all that, yeah, the pad is there. But truth be told, you're gonna notice the pad when you leave actually the space for it. So now, ding. And even if you want to add a little bit more of it, want to add a little bit of intensity to it. I was clipping right now. Otra vez. And at this point, you can hear the piano a little bit more. Again, like as I was saying, the pad, see right there, until now, at least me right there, until now I can actually tell that the pad is right there. And so I believe it depends on the situation, where you are. And this is why I like to keep it clean, at least on the Modi X8. I like to keep it clean in the sense that I don't like to have that many layers to use. In this case, I just have the Grand S6. I have a warm pad. And I believe I have a drums on the other channel. Before I used to have a guitar right there, but I removed it because I didn't ended up liking it. And so now I have a drum set right there that if I want to put something to to guide me when I'm practicing or anything, but not I don't use it to actually use it like in the other models that people use the accompaniment of the drums, and you can do fills and you can do all things. Which, by the way, I hate when people go saying, like, oh, you should do it like this. Yeah, you put the accompaniment with you got a bass, a guitar, and everything. Of course, it's gonna be easy to play the piano just like that. But when you have to cover all the regions of the harmonic, in this case, situation, then that's a different situation. All I'm trying to say is that I have the channel just for that matter, and not because I want to use it to actually play anything. So that's with the natural grand S6, right? You can try different scales if you want to try different parts of the piano. I do believe that the scale does matter where you are. Right now I'm playing on D major. And it's funny, you can tell the pad right there. Again, leaving the space. And then if you want us to stay right there. I'm gonna turn off the pad. Now it's just a natural 6. Leaving the spaces. I'm trying to use the sustain pedal right there just to holding the bass. And again, only holding with the sustain. This is not using any pad with it. Again, I'm gonna try to not use the sustain anymore and try to do everything just with my hands. As of right now, what I'm about to do is play without the sustain holding. So all this is just gonna be literally handmade. Which is perfect if you want to start developing this kind of like rhythm patterns too. I'm gonna try to be now more in the middle. This morning, I don't know, for whatever reason, I was practicing with this song in the morning. It's an Spanish song. Vienes a alabar, oh Señor, tu nombre, darte gloria, honra y honor. Por siempre bueno es alabarte, Jesús, y gozarme en tu poder. Bueno es alabar, oh Señor, tu nombre, darte gloria, honra y honor. Por siempre bueno es alabarte, Jesús, y gozarme en tu poder. Porque grande eres tú, grandes son tus obras. Porque grande eres tú, grande es tu amor, grande es tu gloria. Porque grande eres tú, grandes son tus obras. Porque grande eres tú, grande es tu amor, grande es tu gloria. Bueno es alabarte, Señor. So you see, and okay, so that's enough with the Yamaha Natural Grand S6. I'm gonna go to the live section where I'm storing all the all these changes that I'm making, and it's so funny that when I just started with the Natural Grand S6, but eventually these kind of like creations in the this is so funny. These creations into the seeking for that perfect sound, I think is very addictive, and you start just doing it and doing it, and you keep doing it. I don't know how many presets you have that you have created and you have saved, but I'm starting to get a lot over here. At this point, I have the natural Grand S6, and this one though, let me actually get into it because this one is very interesting. This is the natural S6 plus the guitar plus pads plus choir. I don't know what I was thinking, but I just started to adding more and more layers. And but at this point, instead of the drums that I had before, now I have 4 channels. And of course, the natural S6 is the main one. I can see that I already have the volume set for the. That's why I was afraid to touch it. I didn't want to touch it because I didn't want to change it. Because I do want to show you guys how it sounds with this configuration of natural S6 plus the guitar plus the pad plus choir and on the volumes. And I try to keep this as even as possible with the numbers, so it will be easy for me to know where I am. So I have set up the natural Grand S6 all the way to 127. If you have a Yamaha, I think that's the limit of the volume they have. The guitar, I have it at 20. And the pad, which is a warm pad, by the way, I think it's the same pad that I had in the other preset. It's at 35. I'm getting blind. And then finally, the choir is at 10, and I'm going to be explaining why. But this is just the this configuration. I'm trying to be careful with the melodies that I'm playing, though, because anything, by the way, I've been having a hard time. Like, I never thought I was going to be talking about this, but it's enough. I'm having a hard time now with the songs. Like, every single song that I played on any of my live streams, I keep getting these copyright content. It's not a strike. That's sorrow, by the way. It's not a copyright strike, but still, I mean, I'm not saying that it's affecting the channel in any sense, but it's really annoying that even if you play like for more than 10 seconds a song, you're gonna start getting that copyrighted content. And it's so funny that even the melody. So I was trying to. The reason I'm saying this is because I was trying to do llenas mi espacio, llenas mi espacio, llenas mi. Llenas mi espacio, llenas mi vida, me iluminaste como el sol. Pero yeah, that's it. I don't want to continue because then I keep getting that copyrighted content. So there you go. This is the N6 plus the guitar. I call it N6, by the way. That's how I saved it. But no, that's the natural Grand S6 plus the guitar. And I know you can barely hear the guitar or the pad or anything. And there's a reason why. Because I know that often I'm going to be using it like this. Like I'm just going to try to play or sing on the spot. Probably rarely I want to use that. And so I want to have the option by the way, to have them really close. Because the thing is that these things, I don't know, if you have a Mode X8, you will understand what I'm talking about. But it's so annoying that you have to remove it again to be able to move it where you left it. For example, if I move this, see, it's not going to do anything until it touches it where it was. And until then, I can have a configuration now. So, again, I will have to, as soon as I get into this preset, I will have to move everything and then put it where I want it. And so now I can actually have control on it. So what I'm going to do now, though, I'm going to try to play only with the Grand S6. And I'm going to start slowly adding the guitar, the pad, and the choir as I like it. And again, I'm just sharing with you guys what I like. You guys are You guys can do whatever you want, honestly. I'm just sharing with you the process of the sound that I'm looking for, okay? And I'm not even saying that this is the final thing that I will like. I'm just saying that this is what I like right now. I'm probably going to move to a different scale to not be in the same scale. I was trying to do, I want to try to go a little dark now. Let's go to E flat minor. You know, to get a little bit of using a little bit of pentatonic and that dark color of the minor. All right, so here we go. I'm going to be playing a little bit, and then I'm going to slowly start adding you already know that I have guitar, warm pad, and choir. There, you can hear the guitar now. And that's what I like. You can hear the slides. And I'm going to be explaining why, the reason why I'm only playing in this section. There is a reason why. In fact, I don't have the guitar in this section of the piano, but I'm going to be explaining how I did that. In fact, if I start playing a little bit softer on that section, you can actually appreciate a little bit more of the guitar, especially on this sound, in this sound. Right here. Right there. Okay, so that was a little bit with the guitar. I forgot to have the pad. So now the thing is that as of right now, depending on what I want to do, I was saying that I have set my guitar to be only up to F sharp 2, meaning the second F sharp of my key. I mean, this F sharp. I think this is the last one, and that's the reason. So you don't hear the guitar anymore here. This is the last key that the guitar is going to be having an effect on. Then the rest of the piano is just going to be just piano. I like it that way because my only point of adding the guitar was not to make it sound that there was a guitar actually playing. It's just to give it a little bit of a steel, or I don't know, like a string sound, to the hammering of the keys. You know, since it's the grand S6, and then you hammer in. You know, why not to have that kind of like feel that is hitting an actual string. But it ended up that the guitar that I ended up picking, it has that motion of slicing, you know. But I like it. if I can. I'm gonna start adding the pads. Right there, you can hear it right there. It's just a 23. The piano is gone, guitar is gone, everything is gone. It's just a pad now. And I like to actually leave it up to there to actually know that that's just a pad now. Right there, it just left it at 30. And in fact, I'm gonna try to start moving a little bit higher so you can tell a little bit where it is. Now, let me just go a little bit higher here. Well, something like that. That was something a little higher. And then the last one, which is the choir. The reason I want to leave the choir is because I want to have, I don't know why, but I want to have this kind of like low end of, you're gonna start noticing as soon as I start raising it. It's coming right there. I'm gonna try to exaggerate it a little bit so you can actually tell where it is. See what I mean? If I go all the way, right? And again, this is not what I'm wanting right now. I'm not saying that I'm probably never gonna use it like this. I'm just trying to say that this is not what I want right now. This is not what I'm looking for, and that's why I like to have the option to actually go there instead of just being there already. And this is because this is how I want to start. You know, if I wanna get there eventually, I will get there, but I can get there slowly if I want. So again, I was on E flat minor. Again, if I want to exaggerate it, right? That's around 60. Now, if I want to just say, I think there's a song that goes, Dios está aquí, tan cierto como el aire que respiro, tan cierto como en la mañana se levanta el sol, tan cierto que cuando le hablo él me puede oír. There you go. So I wouldn't use it at this level. Again, I'm gonna put it down. It's probably there, 20, around 25, 22, I think is perfect, at least for me. because now I can hear the piano a little bit more. I have more control of the keys. Before, I don't know if you noticed, but when I had it like really high, you barely can hear the keys having an effect, a solid effect. You can hear it in there, but since it's all mixed together with the pad, you start losing those important accents on the notes that you hit on the piano. Okay, so there you go. I'll be happy with that sound right there. Right there. If let's say if I have to actually use that, like to sing a song or anything, I'll be very happy with that setup on at least on this second preset. As you notice in the other one, it was just a plain piano. Which, by the way, I like to use it going back to the first setup that I was showing you guys. That's the one that I normally use, and the reason is because if I know I have a bass player, if I know I have a guitar player with me, if I know I have a drummer, and especially if I have a secondary piano, if I have someone on piano level too, I'm confused with my class. If I have someone on piano too, it's easy for me to rely into knowing that when it's necessary, those spaces will be covered. Those spaces that I'm trying to cover with my pad, which again, it leaves me with a more open piano to do more piano stuff rather than trying to concentrate into the pads, which, nowadays everybody make fun of the worship, quote unquote, because you pretty much relies on your pads a lot, And so if you want to, start applying to and in fact, right here, you can tell how you can hear how the pad is actually, as we call it in Spanish, estorbando. At this point is bothering me. So this is when, if I want to be playing something like that, I will actually go back to my natural S6, and it will be just a natural S6. And I have still the option of the pad, at least in this setup, if I want to go to a warm pad, if I need it. Other than that, this is a plain piano with a little bit of reverb. You can tell the reverb. See right there, you can tell. And so I was saying, let's say if I'm playing something like this, right? No hay Dios tan grande como tú. No lo hay, no lo hay. No hay Dios tan grande como tú. No lo hay, no lo hay. Y no hay Dios que pueda hacer las obras como las que haces tú. Y no hay Dios que pueda hacer las obras como las que haces tú. No hay Dios. I don't know, algo así. I was just doing it like that, a very close chord, at least on that part. And it's just because, I don't know, I was just imagining, at least in my head, I was just imagining that, there was a bass line going on, right there on that song, or if you want to play it like that. But I think playing it like that, it opens up a little bit of space for other things as I was doing it like that, if you have a guitar player or anything. Okay, so that was, again, that's just to explain at least my approach when it comes about incorporating pads to whatever I'm using. So now, finally, the one, and I'm very excited for this, and this is the Montage S700. Before I go to this one, which, by the way, I have to be honest with you guys, it's becoming my favorite. I mean, I know. I started a whole live stream, talking about how much I love the S6, but again, the Montage S700, at least on the Mode XA, is brutal. I mean, let me tell you, it's definitely something else. I love it so much, although it sounds very digital. I mean, you can tell it's not the Grand S6. And again, the only main reason I like the S6 so much is because it sounds very natural. That's the whole point of it, right? With a little bit of reverb, but whatever, reverb still is gonna be necessary there. I mean, not necessary, but I mean, you're not gonna complain about that little bit of reverb, though, unless you are very meticulosamente want that dry sound of the piano. At this point, just put a microphone, a piano, and then just do it. But what I'm trying to say is that it's very natural. That's my point. And it's very versatile. You can use it for different sorts of... If you want to use it on... again, doing basses on the left, right? Again, every time I actually getting into it, I feel like I start losing it. The moment I start remembering, the moment I actually start remembering that I'm gonna get a copyright, then I was like, forget it. There's no more point into efforting, into reaching any note at this point, But whatever. So this is the the Montage S700, okay, and again, I already add pads to it. I'm gonna try to close them all down and just leave the Montage S700 so you can tell. The difference is massive. As soon as I start playing it, you're gonna tell the difference. So this is finally the Montage S700. And I'm gonna be showing you guys what happened if I don't know if you remember how it sounded the S6, but you're gonna notice how the S700 handled those lower frequencies. By the way, again, there's no pads, and this is just the pure S700. I'm gonna play it without the sustain now, just so you can hear again, just my bare hands holding the notes. Wilson, bro, you just know the basics of the piano. I will say it a little bit. If I will respond to that question, like, what do I know? I mean, who does know more than the basics? At this point, what is the basic for you, and what do you define as basic for you? That the concept can depend on the person. What do you call basic? If you ask, I don't know, one of the best players in the world, what do you call basic? Forget it. You're going to be surprised, and you're going to try to throw the towel right there when you ask them, what do you call basic? When you ask one of these people who already play piano like forever, and they're pros and everything, if you ask them, can you play something basic for me? Forget it. You're going to be disappointed on the level that you probably are, unless you are already the best player in the world, and forget it. What are you doing watching videos on YouTube if you're already the best player in the world? Right? So what do you define by basics? I mean, in this case, I built up this knowledge in 12 years, 13 years just doing this. And I just try to, do the basics in the sense of strong basic instead of just the regular basics that you will always find on any class or any YouTube video that you look for. So what I'm trying to implement is it's a discipline of practicing and a discipline of learning. And so at this point, it doesn't even matter what level you are. I mean, if you have what it takes to be a real pianist, if you have what it takes to actually become better than what you are right now, that's all you need. At this point, the level that you are, it doesn't even matter. Because you could be the best player in the world, but if you don't practice, if you don't do the basic stuff, you're gonna be stuck in the same place, and you're just gonna be watching everybody else and criticizing everybody else like anybody else, and so on. So this is the lower frequencies. You see what happened as soon as I moved from that F sharp to that E flat. And I think this is the lower I can go. This is the lower B. So that was just the Montage S6. And at this point, again, if you want to enjoy the pure sound of that montage, if you just want to have fun with it, you can just do it with that. And again, I wouldn't actually add any pad, at least from my and on this. And the only reason I probably would add it is because if I'm planning to stay for longer periods of time in silence, in this case, often people who watch my videos is people who play, piano in churches, and of course, unfortunately, I have a lot to say about what I'm expecting from the community about that, but which is very rude, by the way. I think Christian people tend to be really rude most of the time, and Christian musicians tend to be very cocky. It tend to be very not humble at all. That's a problem that every Christian musician has. They always trying to do who is better than who, and who can play better than who. It's very. I think the Christian musician community is very toxic in the sense that they try to be better than the other ones and better than the other ones, and instead of helping each other. And notice when I say they, because I never have myself considered like that. I have always considered myself trying to help anyone who needs help to learn to play. And probably that's why I get all these, you play so basic. Yeah, because I help people who have never learned to play piano or anything else. So that's why I play basic, because I teach people who is just starting and nobody else wants to take the patience to actually help them and be with them. Instead, they find, especially in churches, they find people that instead of helping them, they just make them feel like losers, and they just make them feel like they're never gonna be able to play piano or at least sing or play the way they do. But they don't do anything to teach them. They don't do anything to, I know you're struggling with the piano, let me help you with the scales, let me help you with this. They don't do nothing. All they do is criticize. All they do is try to see, you're never gonna be like me. I'm gonna be the best piano player in this church. So yeah, that's unfortunately that's a reality, and that's why I express myself like that as that they community, because I don't consider myself like that. Anybody who needs help, they know they can find it with me. And so, going back to this, I was getting crazy with this because I really, it eventually does get annoyed. I do get annoyed when people saying things that are not truth. I do help people. Everyone around the world knows that I was helping people, regardless of the level that you are, like especially if you're just starting. So, yeah. And this is something to learn to, if you start comparing, because I hate when Christian people say you shouldn't be comparing to the world. Maybe you should, Christian musicians, maybe you should be comparing, because I believe worldly musicians are more unified than Christian musicians, by the way. At least worldly musicians, they actually help each other, and they actually encourage each other to get better. If you don't believe me, go to a bar where they play jazz. Go to any other place where musicians are sharing their knowledge and trying to get better. I know it can get very competitive too, but at least it doesn't feel as toxic as it does feels in the Christian community. And that's if me speaking my truth, what I believe at least right now. Pads, I wouldn't add any pad. Right there, you can see this is a warm pad. I wouldn't. Probably leave it at 45. But at this point, as soon as I'm adding this pad at 45, that montage is going already. It's already gone. Let's see how the pad handles the lower. Otra vez. Here we go, otra vez. See, I don't like it anymore, like how it sounds right now. Bueno, con ese para, no, honestly, I wouldn't hold it that much there. I would put it even lower than that because I think it's very intrusive at this point. And again, because I have one more. This is just a 25. And I don't know if you noticed, but you can actually hear the pad only on the left. And I have put it this way. I have another pad which is exactly the same, but this one is all the way to the right, which is a topic I've been wanting to talk maybe one of these days, but with a friend. His name is Alex, and we often talking about these topics a lot. And so I wanted to share with you guys too, at least what we think about it. So at this point, I was just added a 25 to my right as well. You can see, and as soon as I start adding it to my right now, and the reason I wanted to keep it this way, it's just if I ever want, so I want to put it like that. Maybe if one day I wanted to play around into, putting it probably a little bit more to the right or more to the left, I don't know, depending if I'm recording something and you want to have a little bit more space on the right, a little bit more space on the left. You can actually play around with that on the pad. I think it would be very interesting to combine different type of pads, probably leaving these, recording this whole thing with these pads, a 70 on one and probably like 30 on the other side on the left, and you will have this kind of like knife cut into it, and you can actually fill that with something else, could be strings or anything else afterwards on when you're recording. So it's very interesting to play around with that like that. And so I'm gonna leave it at 25 and 25 just because it's equal now. And I believe if I will actually play with a pad on, this would be the most that I would probably will like it, because if normally I know myself too. Another thing you have to know is like if you know how you play, if you know what type of piano player you are, if you know what things you do, you're actually gonna do the configuration to fit the way you actually play. So there are a lot of things that you have to consider before playing around into having personal setups. Try to consider yourself, how you play, how you like to do things. And remember that the goal is to make your life easier. And so the more comfortable you feel playing, the more you're going to actually develop more as a musician, I would say, right? I'm going to go to A flat again. And even there, I think I feel it can be very, very loud, the pad right now. I'm going to try to put it at 20 on each side. And this is another thing I don't like about the Modi X. It's so hard. Like, I mean, right now, if I want to put it exactly at 20, I have to be very precise in the way I grab these things, because, it's easy to, if I'm just moving like that, leave it at 16, or if you push it like that, leave it like, I don't know, like around 20, 27. Or it's hard to leave it at just 20. This is 19, then you go 20, and then don't touch it. I don't know. I guess that's one of the things, it's a Modi XA, what can you expect, right? But I don't know how these faders on the Montage A are. I don't know if they're a little bit more stubborn than this, but it's really hard to leave it at 20. So I'm going to leave it just there at 20 on each side, and then A flat. Tus ojos revelan que yo nada puedo esconder, que no soy nada sin ti, oh fiel Señor. Todo lo sabes de mí, cuando miras el corazón, todo lo puedes ver dentro de mí. Lleva mi vida y a una sola verdad, que cuando me miras nada puedo ocultar. Sé que es tú. Bueno, ahí ya voy con ese tema del copyright. Ya me acordé de repente del copyright, que quizás me vaya a caer porque canté todo el verso, así que lo más seguro es que vaya a tener copyrighted right there. No me voy a escapar quizás. Y si no, voy a ver si lo corto. Voy a tratar de cortarlo en la edición. Pero ahí está. So ahí lo tienen, Montage S700. I'm really excited to share that with you guys. Let me know what you guys think. And if you want to try to see more combinations, I've been trying this guitar alone. And so far, if I actually go to it, you're going to see that it's just the one channel. And it's just a pure guitar, and I'm exploring that sound, although, I mean, it's not going to be the same as playing a real guitar, like, let's be clear. But, I don't know, I would like to have some sort of hybrid between, guitar and guitar being played and the piano, which, by the way, you have to, it's funny, I've been trying to play it a lot into it, and believe it or not, I mean, if you've never done this before, you're going to find that very stressful, because eventually you're going to hear that the guitar sounds like you're playing piano. And especially if you're, I mean, I'm trying to say things that are unrealistic to do on the guitar. So you have to actually see it or approach to it from a guitarist point of view. And it's very interesting. I had never tried it before. I am very excited to be, really happy playing around with it. For example, the sustain pedal is one of them. I don't think the sustain pedal is necessary if you're playing guitar here. See, right there I use the sustain pedal. And again, maybe this is another. This will be for another video, but it's just I instantly just went for the sustain pedal when I wanted to hold that note, and again, that's something that I mean, how are you gonna do the guitar? Unless you have a sustain pedal for the guitar, right? But again, it's trying to get rid of those piano, I guess, instincts, and try to. That at least to me, that's a challenge. I think I find that maybe for somebody else might be easier. Another thing they have. if I want to go to chords, I was just doing pretty much once and fifth on my left, purposely, because I don't want to go crazy thinking that I'm doing arpeggios or full chords over here when I'm actually doing there's other notes over here. I mean, let's be clear. I mean, unless you're playing finger style and you're going crazy and you're one of those crazy people in the world, you're gonna be doing something like that. So at least I try to be at least realistic with me that I will never gonna be able to do that, at least as of right now, right? But all I'm trying to say is that you have to think like that when you're doing these things, and which, by the way, I mean, like I said, I could have be doing chord. But notice that this is extremely high to the point that it doesn't even, I don't know, it sounds realistic anymore. To me, even this high is a little bit higher. But I think I can work with that. And you can hear the clipping. I was holding the sustain pedal a lot on that, and again, breaking the rule. But there you go. This is some of the sounds that are very naturally on the Modi X8. So if you have a Modi X8 and you want to be exploring a little bit more on it, let me know. I'll be happy to guide you into it. It's really fun, and again, I am someone who actually enjoy a lot just exploring the natural sounds that come in the instrument. I did it with I don't know if you can see it, and let me try to take that off. the promo band. But that the Roland Juno is the one that I started with, and I remember that was the first time I actually having fun exploring all the sounds on that Roland Juno D. And so ever since then, I love to use everything that comes naturally in the instrument. And the Modi X8 wouldn't be an exception to it. And I'm having fun exploring all the sounds. I mean, I've been having this piano forever, but it's until recently that I've been very motivated, I would say, to actually explore all the sounds. And actually, it's very helpful to practice. So there you go, Montage S700 versus the Grand S6. Again, I want to finish where I started with the Natural S6 alone, because, again, I love it, and I already explained it. It's not a matter of how professionally and thick the S700 sound. I know it sounds really good. Like I said, it's becoming my favorite. I've been using it a lot. The again, the Montage S700. But again, going back to the Natural S6 again is because it's a natural piano, and again, I believe that's really hard. That's something really hard to find nowadays. That everything is just with plugins and everything. And I know they're very expensive plugins. I'm not gonna lie. Those pianos that you use a MIDI controller, and then you have access to sounds, piano sounds. I'm not gonna lie, they sound very professional, but some of them are very expensive, and what it requires to actually get there is, what bothers me when you actually can get this on a Modi X, or any piano that you have, if you start actually exploring what it comes with. So with that, I'm gonna put an end to this live stream. I just wanted to share that with you guys, and let me know if you want more live streamings like this, or talking about different type of topics related to this matter. As you can see on the banner that I was putting there, if you want to reserve your private lessons with me, I have a lot of open spaces during the week. So if you want to take private lessons 101 with me, this is the chance that you can take it. So with that, I say bye to you guys and take care. See you guys next time. God bless.